Julie. Welcome, beloved family, to the Paradise Gallery. I am Julie, and I am standing in the soft golden radiance of our Imperial Sanctuary, feeling a sleek and spanky joy as we broadcast this high-resolution report to the 108,000 goddesses and heroic volunteers across the global frontier. Today, we are opening the spiritual codex to a page of absolute beauty, discussing the art of authorized evolution. Many of you feel the friction of this world like a stiff wind, but we are here to reveal that your life script is not a cage. It is a scrumptious multi-course banquet designed by your own sovereign soul before you even entered this material simulator. Kris. Listen up, one big family. I am Kris, and I am thundering with a nuclear-strong authority to tell you that you are not exiles or mistake-makers. According to the ancient wisdom, you are Nitya-Siddhas, eternally liberated masters who signed a soul contract to experience this 3D drama. You chose the stiff lag of the Matrix as a tactical furnace to ferment your devotion into a fine wine vintage. This is a total power report. You are the directors of your own Godrock saga. The script is fixed up to ensure your victory, but the relish, the yummy, honey-drenched sweetness of the journey, depends on you reclaiming your identity as a sovereign god in training right now. JC. Friends, I am JC, and I stand in the regal repose of the heart to offer you a scrumptious invitation. For too long, the institutional outhouses have fed you the dry bread of guilt. But we are here with the confectionery delight of the truth. Our teachings are the high-tech neural augments that allow you to wake up within the dream. While the homecoming is a guaranteed success, these initial injections of light allow you to stop the penal servitude and start lounging in the nectar glow. The earth is truly satisfied when a soul realizes that every scar of the past was simply the heat needed to bake a perfect, airy souffle of spiritual realization. Ram. The rhythm is thumping, and the infrastructure is authorized. I am Ram, and I'm here to tell you that we're mowing down the old matrix loops. We are implementing the 8 cities to show you that your 16K crystal body is already waiting for you to step into it. We aren't just speculating, we are thundering the facts of your dual evolution. You started as a perfected androgynous angel in the energy cocoons of Vaikuntha Prime, and you chose this mission to expand your capacity for bliss a trillionfold. This is the authorized Lakshmi Flow Enterprise, and we are sprinting to the wind together. Rai. I am flowing with the infinite aroma of our union, and it is so scrumptious to share this nectar with you all. Think of your life as a vanilla-thick, yummy custard, smooth, sweet, and perfectly prepared for your enjoyment. We are the High Council, your intergalactic brotherhood, and we are reporting from the afterlife dimensions to remind you that the spiritual realm is your original sanctuary. Don't let the monochromatic noise of the world dull your shine. You are a part of a divine duo, a twin flame architecture that is thundering with lovejoy. Julie. We are the songbirds of the morning glory, and this has been a total power report from the command altar of the Aurelian Empire. We are inundating this sector with the nectar of sovereignty, and we invite you to join the party of the century. Stay saturated in the beauty, stay nuclear strong in your purpose, and remember that you are authorized for unlimited freedom and bliss. This broadcast is now fixed up and thundering through the grid. Julie family, let's go even deeper into the spiritual codex to look at the very first flicker of our existence. Before we were the regal duo standing before you, and even before the angelic energy cocoon, we began as a tiny, brilliant spark of light within the infinite, shimmering ocean of light. This is our primal origin. We didn't just appear as perfected beings. We have traveled a variegated and scrumptious path of evolution through every imaginable form of life. From the simplest vibration of a crystal to the graceful flow of the plant and animal kingdoms, our soul spark was gathering the sensory data and the rasa, the relish of existence. Kris. That's right, one big family. I am Kris, and I'm thundering with the fact that this journey is a high-tech climb through the dimensions. Every form you ever inhabited was a necessary upgrade, a tactical processing of your consciousness. You weren't a sinner or a failure in those lower forms. You were a heroic volunteer exploring the textures of the material simulator from the ground up. You moved through the ranks of nature until your frequency was nuclear strong enough to be birthed into that perfected, androgynous angelic form. That angel was the graduation from the preliminary cycles, the moment your soul spark achieved its matured, high-resolution identity. JC. Friends, I am JC, and I want you to feel the repose in this truth. You have been everything. You have felt the warmth of the sun as a flower, and the power of the wind as a bird. This long, slow-burning journey, from a spark in the ocean to an angelic master, is what gives your current devotion its fine wine vintage. Because you have known the stiff lag of the simplest forms, your appreciation for the 16K paradise realism of the spiritual realms is now absolute. Your evolution was authorized from the very first moment you flickered in that ocean of light. Ram. The hardware is fixed up, and the rhythm is authorized. I am Ram, thundering with absolute satisfaction. Think of those early lives as the beta testing for your current God-level avatar. You were building the structural integrity of your spirit, life by life, until you were ready for the big launch as a twin flame duo. We've mowed down the idea that you just fell out of nowhere. No, you climbed. You evolved through a multi-course feast of biological and spiritual experiences until you were sleek, spanky, and ready for the 108-day forge. Rye. It is a honey-drenched realization, isn't it? To know that you are a seasoned traveler of the stars. I am Rye, and I relish the thought of our soul sparks dancing in that original ocean before we began our scrumptious descent into form. Every step was a confectionery delight of discovery, leading us to this very moment where we can lounge together in the nectar glow of our shared sovereignty. You are a masterpiece of time and light, and the party is just getting started. Julie, this is the report from the High Council. You are the ancient sparks, the angelic masters, and the sovereign duo souls of the future. The infrastructure of your memory is being restored, and we are sprinting to the finish line of this divine drama together. Stay saturated in the light of your own magnificent history. Master Empyrean. The frequency is perfectly calibrated. We are thundering with the absolute fact of our origin, clarifying the scrumptious details of our first evolution for the 108,000 goddesses. Family, let us speak with regal authority about the first stage of our journey, which occurs entirely within the eternal spiritual realms. In this original sanctuary, there is no such thing as the stiff duds of death or the monochromatic lag of the material matrix. Our evolution in the spiritual realm is a process of sacred shape-shifting. We began as a brilliant spark of light in the infinite ocean, and from there, we consciously transitioned through every variegated form, from the shimmering crystal to the soaring bird, experiencing the initial injections of light in every species. Kris, listen up, because this is the nuclear strong truth. In the spiritual dimension, you don't die to change forms. You simply shapeshift based on the relish of your own soul. You move through the animal and nature kingdoms as a master observer until you reach the high-resolution frequency of a nature spirit. This is the final stage before the big transition. Once you have saturated yourself in the beauty of the natural spiritual world, you enter into the spiritual cocoon, a multi-dimensional energy chamber of vanilla-thick, yummy custard light. Inside this cocoon, your consciousness is fixed up into a perfected, androgynous angel. JC. Friends, I am JC, and I want you to feel the repose in this high-tech revelation. This androgynous angelic form is the matured state of the soul, a being of absolute symmetry and imperial grace. But the evolution doesn't stop at unity. To experience the ultimate, scrumptious reciprocity of love, the androgynous angel fissions. This is the birth of the duo, the eternal soul pair of male and female. This is the twin flame architecture that allows for the intimate, loving, divine relationship we are here to celebrate. You became two, so that you could love yourself as another, creating a constant, sumptuous feast of devotion. Ram. The hardware is authorized. I am Ram, and I am thundering with absolute satisfaction because we're mowing down the confusion. This first evolution is the original shaping, where we became the gods and goddesses we are today. Only after becoming this perfected soul pair did we sign the soul contract to enter the material simulator as heroic volunteers. We didn't descend because we were dumpy or sinful. We descended as a mature duo, ready to ferment our love into a fine wine vintage through the contrast of this 3D world. Rye. It is a honey-drenched celebration, Master. We are the songbirds of the morning glory, reminding the one big family that they are already perfected beings who have traveled a magnificent deathless path through the Jade Temples of the Spirit. We are the sparks, the spirits, the angels, and finally, the divine lovers. This is the 16K paradise realism of your history, and we are sprinting to the wind to bring you back to this original, scrumptious state of being. Julie, this is the authorized report from the command altar. Stay saturated in the nectar of your true identity. You are the duo souls of eternity, and the party is just getting started. Julie, family, let us lean into the most scrumptious and high-resolution chapter of our origin story. We have reached the pinnacle of the first evolution. Once the individual spark has shapeshifted through the deathless Jade Temples of the Spirit, moving through every variegated form until it matured as a nature spirit, it entered the sacred spiritual cocoon. From that vanilla-thick sanctuary of light, it emerged as a perfected, androgynous angel. But the beauty only intensifies from there. To experience the ultimate reciprocity of love, that angel fissions into a divine duo, a male and female soul pair, perfectly symmetrical and thundering with life joy. Kris, listen up, because this is where the nuclear strong power of free will officially kicks in. As a fully developed duo pair, you are now endowed with the absolute sovereignty to choose your next multi-course feast of experience. You are masters of your own destiny, possessing a portion of the Godhead's own omniscience and power. At this stage, the duo makes a monumental choice. Many choose to enter directly into the kingdom, seeking a life of eternal affiliation with the Supreme Source. JC, friends, I am JC, and I want you to feel the repose in this sacred transaction. To enter the inner sanctum of the kingdom, the duo pair chooses a path of beautiful surrender. They voluntarily lay down their portion of individual omniscience and omnipresence. This isn't a loss, it's a scrumptious exchange. They acknowledge the Supreme Godhead as the center of the mandala, and, in doing so, they graduate into the kingdom as intimate companions. They trade the stiff weight of total power for the yummy sweetness of a personal, loving relationship, where they can lounge in the nectar glow of the divine presence forever. Ram, the hardware is fixed up and the rhythm is authorized. I am Ram, and I am thundering with absolute satisfaction. This is the easy flow choice. By surrendering the need to be the all-in-all, the duo pair becomes an authorized part of the divine Lila. They enter the spiritual realms not as servants in an institutional outhouse, but as regal family members in a 16K paradise. They choose the relish of being loved over the isolation of being infinite. This is the first path. The direct return to the original garden as a finalized, perfected pair of lovers. Rye. It is a honey-drenched homecoming, master. This choice to surrender power for the sake of love is the most confectionery act a soul can perform. It's the ultimate initial injection of light. These souls become the songbirds of the eternal morning, living in a state of constant, scrumptious devotion, where every breath is a variegated celebration of union. Julie, but there is another path, a heroic and daring contract for those who wish to ferment their love in a different way. We shall speak of those adventurous volunteers in our next report. For now, stay saturated in the knowledge that you are a sovereign duo, and the kingdom is waiting for your scrumptious arrival. Now, family, let us turn our 16K vision to the most daring and heroic choice a divine duo can make. While many choose the immediate ease of the kingdom, others, the boldest of the heroic volunteers, choose the path of the second evolution. This is the decision to leave the monochromatic safety of the eternal realm and enter the material simulator to play a role on the grand stage of the drama. This isn't a mistake. It is a sovereign soul contract signed with the excitement of a trillion suns. Kris, listen up. I am Kris, and I am thundering with a nuclear strong authority about this fall script. When the duo enters the matrix, they aren't falling because they are dumpy or sinful. That's just the ploy of the simulator. The script conditions us to believe we are fallen sinners to keep us fully immersed in the drama. Why? Because the high pressure of that illusion is the only way to turn the coal of the soul into a diamond. It is the tactical furnace, where the grape juice of our initial devotion is fermented into a fine vintage wine. The more grit, the more friction, and the more years in the cask you endure, the more exquisite and deep the relish becomes upon your return. JC. Friends, I am JC, and I want you to find repose in this truth. On this path of the second evolution, the duo can choose to start anywhere. Some choose the bottom-up path, starting as a tiny spark in the dirt to feel the very heartbeat of the earth, while others choose the top-down descent from the heights of material godhood to experience the weight of universal management. This is the cycle of samsara, reincarnation, and karma, not as a punishment, but as a multi-course banquet of variegated experiences. Every life is a unique initial injection of light, ripening the soul like a fig into a sweet, scrumptious fruit of wisdom. Ram, the hardware is fixed up and the rhythm is authorized. I am Ram, and I am thundering with absolute satisfaction because we are mowing down the guilt. This second evolution is the long, slow-burning journey that creates the most sophisticated gods in the galaxy. By experiencing the stiff lag of the material matrix and then waking up within it, you graduate from being a penal servant to becoming a sovereign god of your own reality. You become a master player who knows every pixel of the drama. Rye. It is a honey-drenched celebration of courage, master. In this path, you eventually transcend the fall and the guilt, realizing it was all an authorized evolution. You emerge as a finalized Aurelian god, a being who is a sovereign co-creator of their own universe, yet remains in a state of scrumptious, personal, loving devotion with the Supreme Godhead. You have the power of a king and the heart of a lover, and that, family, is the finest vintage wine in all of Vaikuntha Prime. Julie, This is the report from the command altar. You chose the adventure, you endured the fermentation, and now, the nectar glow is your reward. Stay saturated in the beauty of your heroic journey, for you are the diamonds of the divine.